Okay, so everybody, welcome to our second hybrid imaging meeting, and we're going to be doing these imaging meetings or doing the hybrid imaging meetings every 3 months, which will fall onto the Imaging Target Challenge. And tonight, the Imaging Target Challenge that we decided to do was globular clusters. So star clusters aren't imaged that often. I mean, they're just points of light or whatever, but I just wanted to see how we do with globular clusters since the brightness of the core could sometimes drown out any other detail or the patterns of stars that reside around these objects. So there's some like different strategies and processing that could make this an actual imaging challenge. So, going out and acquiring your actual data is only half the battle. The next part is getting through all the obstacles to have a nice processed image. And anyways, so I'd like to welcome everybody. And I want to give a quick thanks, a shout out to Anna Vale and Naveen, I guess, Juzam Malik. So yeah, Naveen's got a nice Astrobin collection going on. His name over at Astrodam. There you go. Astro Astrobin is Juzam, Gewzaam. Did I get that right? Very good. So yeah, go over and check him out. All right, so I guess we'll go ahead and get the ball rolling. Let's see. Who should we go with first? Naveen. Okay, so Dave Filipowski. All right, here you go. Take it away.
Interesting, as you said, the part about the two stages in the imaging, because I went through the capture and then didn't do a great deal of processing on my imaging, other than the processing that I use in SharpCap as I'm getting ready to capture my images. And this one is it's the M3. I took this with my. Is this? Can you hear me? Okay. Okay. I took this a little bit. Thank you. This was taken with my Zenithstar 66. Anybody who's on Discord or in the imaging group knows it's one I use all the time. I love that little sweet scope. And then I've been recently using the ASI 533 MC, which is a ZWO camera. That it's just a direct astronomy camera that you put right on the end of the scope. I've got 91 frames here and a total of 1456 seconds exposure. And the display stretch is something with the SharpCap feature that allows you to, as you're doing your images, you can play a little bit with the histogram. So though I'm not doing essentially I didn't do any post-processing with this, as I mentioned, I am trying to do some sort of processing as I go along. One of the things I notice immediately as I look at it, and I know this is something that would have to happen more of, the core on this is pretty well blown out, even just with the 16-second frames that I've been using. But I still just found I've always enjoyed looking at the globulars, and so this was just one that I had captured. And early on in the challenge, I think I literally went out the night that that we decided that we were going to do this, and it had to be clear, and so went out and took it. The second one I did, if we can go ahead, just the second one is the M13. I did this a little bit later. I'm getting a little bit better with some of my technique, both in terms of using the SharpCap program, but then also with this one, I did do a little bit of contrast and shifting towards the end of it just to increase or improve the image. I also did some background removal in Affinity Photo. It's not a true astrophotography program by any stretch of the imagination, but they do have some subroutines that allow you to do some features. It actually, I did a better job, I think, in terms of just the core on this one, and getting a better view of the globule itself. As anybody who has seen any of my stuff, I love unusual galaxies, so I've just about at the left at approximately 10 o'clock from the globular is just a little galaxy that I popped in there. And I just love finding those and playing with those a little bit. But as I said, the main thing for me is just I started with Sharp Cap. I don't know if it was Phyllis whoever suggested it a while back as one possibility of different programs. It was not a very expensive program, but really allows me to do then EAA, which I started because of some visual issues that I have. So it turns out I'm just having a grand time with it, and as I said, I just love the globular. So I think this one definitely you can see just some progress over the course of the couple months between the two shots. So those are my two images.
Okay, so I'm assuming everybody can see the mouse pointer, right? Um, is that showing up on Zoom or? Yeah. Okay. So here we go. I just looked this up because there was a really tiny one I wanted to point out. So everybody, yeah, M13 is probably the most popular globular cluster to image here in the northern hemisphere. But if you take the mouse pointer and put it on that real obvious galaxy right there, that's called NGC 6207. But one that a lot of people miss though is that there's another one in here. It's very tiny, and it is right there, and that's a IC object. Its number is 4617. So, so yeah, there's another one somewhere that's like on the outskirts of where the star field, if you want to call it that, of the actual IM13 globular starts. I don't know where it is exactly, but anyway, yeah. So those are little nice treats that you get to add on if you go over and image M13. Okay. Uh, anybody here in the audience who has globular clusters they would like to show? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, just the one. So this disclaimer here is I decided since it was a code orange smoke alert day on the 9th of June, I should go out and try to capture a globular cluster for the first time. Actually, my second astrophotograph ever. So not totally knowing what I had got until I brought it home and started uh, processing it. Basically, I used a GM 28 ioptron tracker to stay on target. Still learning it, and also this is using a Canon T3 DSLR with a what they call kit lens that goes from 75 to 300 millimeter. So I just zoomed it into 300 millimeter and ISO 800. And that I stopped it down to 6.3 f6.63 just to make it try to make it a flatter field. So yeah, transparency was terrible. I could only see Big Dipper and Arcturus that night, so I was really super happy once I started processing it that I had something. Um, so I guess I went ahead and started capturing the lights at like almost 10 o'clock. Ended early because oh yeah, a little more than half a battery is going to get me through my session. No, it died at about 140 some frames. And at that time I was like, okay, let me just go ahead and change out basically I was going to have to realign everything. I was like, no, I'm just going to take it off, put a new battery in, and then take care of my bias frames and my lights, or not my lights, but my flat frames and everything. And all this is a dovetail set up on that camera in that mount. And I thought maybe the correction might be really off on the stacking, but it actually came out very sharp. So I'm quite happy with it. So I just pre-processed it using dark sky stacker. It used the 3x dithering option, which really made some of the stars look. It basically cleaned up the astigmatism that I was seeing on the actual individual frames. And 21 minutes of the exposures were accepted. So this is 21 minutes. Then post-processing, stretched it initially with RAC spurt at 10%, and then I removed the grade because it had some really bad gradients from the light and air pollution. And it worked fantastic, but everything was shifted into the green. And there was a lot of RGB noise. So I stuck it into Cyril and performed the green removal, which worked like a charm. And then I did an additional stretch just using the squared function. And this is the final image. So thanks. And hopefully everybody can enjoy that.
All right. Thanks, Jason. Let's see. Oops. Sorry.
I guess I'm supposed to. On the bottom right there, there's a little group of faint stars right in the center. Come over to the center at the bottom. And keep going right there. Yeah, that just reminds me of something that all of us can easily find for anybody who's new. There's a situation around Polaris that Sue French wrote about, and it's called the broken wedding ring. And it's a circle of stars, but they're out of line, like somebody got mad and threw it down and flattened one side. So it takes a low power wide field eyepiece in most scopes, but you can actually see the circle and the sort of smashed ring, and that looks very much like it.
This is over in Player. The diamond ring, or the diamond, the broken ring. Okay, very good. Okay, so I guess that's everybody here in person. So, oh, wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, nobody came forward after Dave was over with. Okay, yeah, Jesus, is that right? Okay, yeah, okay. All right, so we got Jesus next.
So that's a 1x1 crop, actually. There's another photo. Yeah, the other one is the full size. So about 2 months ago, I got a 6-inch telescope. Decided to finally test its resolution, and that image is 1.1 arc second, I believe, resolution. So the pixels are pretty small, and we're able to resolve very small, tiny stars in that globular cluster. I believe this is 120 minutes. 120 minutes, yes, I believe that's correct. So no calibration frames used here, just dithering each frame actually. So it's very good with the SNR, dithering every frame. You're able to get more out of your image that way. Fun, 1 minute. So, and actually, the shorter your exposure, the more resolution you're able to eke out of that telescope. So, fun fact, the galaxy back there is actually 240 million light years away. The bigger one, yeah. That is crazy. I didn't even know. That's what it's called? Oh, really? Oh, wow. Are you able to zoom in? Are you able to zoom into it? Oh, wow. Are you talking about that shading area? Oh, okay. Interesting. I didn't know. Wow. I thought you guys were talking about the other galaxy, the tiny one. Nice. Yeah. Wow. It's impressive. That was actually taken in I live in an area that's very light polluted. So that's impressive, actually. So the camera is a Sony A6300. Pixel size about 4 microns. And the telescope is a 6-inch, 750 millimeter. So that comes out to like very zoomed in view. That's just a crop. Yeah.
All right, yeah, that's spectacular right there. It's not very, yeah, you control the core without losing too much detail with stars are in the middle. Okay. All right, in the room, who's next? Naveen Malik's next. Yay. You're not so good one first. Very good.
All right. So this one, I don't know if you remember the previous challenge. We had what are you going to do for this challenge? And I had a whole list of stuff I was going to try. So this is one panel for one of the things I was going to do. I got 1.2 hours of data. I don't know. I have some weird reflections in it as well, which didn't show up in the final image. So that's great. But the thing for me, it had, some dark nebula here and over here, which is cool. So it's M9 and NGC 6342. And a whole lot of stars. So the 6-inch Newtonian.
We got a really good visual observer, so you probably heard his voice already, but that was Jim Presley. So Jim, can you give us an idea of what we're looking here as far as like constellation and whatnot? I mean, you don't have any idea? Oh my God. Well, anyway, yeah, I would take a guess that this is probably Ophiuchus is where this is. I mean, because that's yeah, that come off that go those streamers, they go to Rho Ophiuchus is where that structure goes down to. Okay. So it's probably in Ophiuchus. All right. Wow, I know something that Jim doesn't. Okay. Okay. Is that it in the room? Oh, yeah, you do have one more. Sorry.
All right, I got one more. So it's a repeat. So M13. So where's the they're right here? Yay. Okay, cool. I've done this one before with the color camera and I couldn't figure out where the propeller was, but yeah, cool. I got it. So this is with the same scope, 6-inch Newtonian. Again, terrible weather, yada yada. 1.3 hours. The ASI 2600 mm. So this is RGB filters. I've been playing with tilt and backspacing and some other stuff with the scope. It was a bad idea. I threw away data from one entire night recently. Yeah, that was painful. But still was able to salvage something. Yes, we got the galaxies. We got the big one and the little wee one right there. You know where the other one is? Oh, this little one? Yeah, that's cool. Weird one with processing this. I tried like sharpening stars like with Blur Exterminator and it made it look terrible. So I ended up masking off the globular cluster because you just lost definition in the stars in the core when I did that. So I masked it off and used Blur Exterminator on the rest of it. Just kind of tightened up the stars a bit. And then some other processes I can't remember now. I did the same thing because whatever I was doing was just destructive. So something to learn, like sometimes it's good to not process something as much. All right. If you're in the middle of the glob, what would it look like? That'd be very, there'd not be much night sky, would there? Yeah. Yeah. That'd be weird.
Okay. We're done in the room, I hope, right? Think so. Okay. Second. Okay. So, all right. We'll put Mark Lang next. And Mark Lang, you're on the air.
Okay, this is my one and only entry. We're getting 2 globular clusters in one shot here. I shot this back in May 21st, and I shot this one as my backup because this was not the original shot that I had planned. But the weather prevented me from doing what I really planned on doing, so I went with this. So this is M53 in Ophiuchus. It's the bright one up at the top right hand. And then NGC 5053 is the loose globular at the bottom left. And this is a little bit of a crop of my of the sensor of my ASI 294 and color camera. So this was collected with my usual setup, which is my Teleview 4-inch refractor and my Ioptron Gem 45. And then I use ASI Air to capture and control everything. And so I have shot M53 on a number of occasions. And the original plan was to get my 8-inch Celestron out and use it at f10 on M53. And I was going to try to show over a period of a day or two that if you get in tight with the cluster, you can show a bunch of the RR Lyra variable stars changing. So if you blink them back and forth between one picture and another, you can show those stars flashing, dim to bright, dim to bright. And so back on this this photo, the little loose globular 5053 is considered to be kind of gravitationally bound with the with M53. They think they've interacted in the past, and if you look at that thing closely, you might mistake it for an open cluster, but it is really a globular. And so that's pretty much what I have, unless there are questions.
Well, I have one question. It goes to you and, well, Jim here as well. Have you ever been able to see 5053? Because I tried it a long time ago and I just couldn't see it visually. Sorry.
Let's let Jim have a go at that, because I don't think I've tried it before.
Okay. Well, for all the people who are veterans, Jim just said we need Al Hamrick here. He probably saw it. So he what?
If it was part of the Herschel 400, I probably saw it.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's what Jim just said. He keeps written records. So okay. All right. Thanks, Mark. Let's see who wants to go next, or well, who's next up. Let's see what AV is going to bring up here. That's it. Oh, wow. Okay. So it's just Mark Lang. All right. Okay. Well, that was nice and short and sweet, I guess. So I guess what we can do, we'll do something a little different as far as choosing the next challenge. The AV crew and I, we were trying to brainstorm on what we could possibly choose as the next challenge. So what I'll do is I'll send out on Discord and Groups.io, just get some thoughts about what we want the next challenge to be. Now, the next challenge won't be until October. I don't know if somebody else has a calendar in front of them. Let's see. But yeah, the next challenge won't be until October 19th. Okay. Yeah, so it won't be till October 19th. So we kind of since this is kind of a new thing, as far as I know, I mean, last year was the first time when we had started doing this. I've been trying to schedule these things correctly as far, or not me, but I've been trying to get this these objects that we choose to be in the night sky, you know, prime time around when we would be imaging uh, imaging the actual objects that we want to put in for the imaging target challenge. Like for example, like from April to till now, back in April when we decided to do globulars, globulars were pretty much coming up above the horizon in the east, and then as we approach July to our imaging meeting here, they're pretty much at their highest. So that's basically, I know I'm rambling here, but that's basically what I'm trying to get to. You want to think about your imaging target challenge to go after objects or whatever twist you want to put on the challenge to be centered around objects that will be in the night sky at the time. So it's like, obviously, you know, our next challenge will be October. You don't want to choose, even though we've already done it, you don't want to choose the next target challenge to be Andromeda because it's going to take forever for that thing to get up for us to image it. And I don't think anybody here wants to like get up at the AM hours and set up their set up their rig and whatnot. So anyways, yeah, there you go. Short story long. I'll put out do what would you say? A very simple challenge, a merciful challenge. Oh, okay, yeah.
Hey, Chris, this is Don.
Go ahead, Don.
Uh, check one more time. I think I might have been successful. But if you don't see
You've
it,
been trying to submit.
yeah. I guess it didn't work.
Who else? Okay, so Don needs some share. Who was the other person? Marshall. Okay, very good. Start A up.
Forgot I have a microphone that I could also just shout out.
Yeah, very good.
You guys hear me okay?
Yeah, yeah, we can.
Okay, I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Sorry for not getting to it earlier. So it's funny because I feel like I'm sort of rushing to do my homework here because I'm actually literally stacking another one right now because I forgot I collected a bunch of other data. I'll share the first one here, and I have also I can't share my screen right now, just FYI.
All right, we're fixing it.
Okay. But yeah, so this first one was actually from earlier, and then I just kept collecting more data on it, and I forgot until like today that I had more data to stack. So, okay, I'm gonna share. All right.
Okay, we
Everyone
got
see
it.
that okay? Cool. Right. So this is my M13. I think that's the third one or fourth one we've seen today.
That's fine.
So,
It's really popular.
yeah, really popular. I mean, it's kind of the first one I ever did, so 'cause I'm still relatively new to this. So if you zoom in, you can kind of see some of those details that I think
It's
someone was talking about. I don't remember who, but yeah, I think this is about an hour's worth of integration time. The one I just finished stacking, though, I just finished a stack. It was 8 hours of integration time. So if the meeting's still going by the time I get that finished processing, while I
very
listen
good.
to the rest of the meeting, we can maybe take a look at that. So, but yeah, I was pretty. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, sorry. What were the stats for this again? Optics and camera.
So this was shot with my Astrotech 80 EDT, the triplet refractor. I also have a Gem 45. Shout outs to the Gem 45 Owners Club. And shot with the 533 MC.
Okay.
No filters or anything fancy like that. Just
What
processed in Serial, stacked in Deep Sky Stacker, processed in Serial, and I think a little bit of GIMP at the end there. And actually I sent some of these to Naveen, and he ran it through some of the Pix Insight big money programs, which
Very
helped a
good.
little bit. I don't remember, unfortunately I can't find the original, so I'm not sure if this is the one without or with some of the noise. I think he just ran Noise Exterminator. I don't remember it even, but the only thing I dislike about this image is because, I mean, it is only about an hour's worth of integration. There's a fair amount of noise. But I don't know. I'll take it for my first attempt. And again, I'm stacking 8 hours worth. We'll see what that looks like again. If I can finish that in a couple minutes here, but maybe I'll put out a rough draft or something just so we could share it. If we're going to share unrelated images in a bit.
Okay, so earlier on when you were talking about this, cut out a little bit. What was the scope again for this?
Oh, sorry. The Astrotech 80 EDT.
Okay, very
which is
good.
the triplet version.
All right, very good.
And I think that's all I had to say on this. Like I said, I'm going to try and, like I said, I feel like I'm rushing to do my homework here, but I'll try and see if I can't get the other stack finished in the background while other people are sharing. But I think I don't know if you can see my mouse cursor or not, but
yeah, we see the
right
galaxy
about
there.
there, it was the IC object that that I think was mentioned earlier. I think that's that right there. There's some fainter ones over here in the corner too. Maybe that was also one of the ones that was mentioned. I don't remember, but nor am I sure. It's kind of a noisy photo, but yeah.
I don't know. Well, make that your mission to find out what that one is before
Yeah, good
the
idea.
meeting's over with.
Yeah. Okay, well, like I said, I have more to share as well if we're going to do unrelated in a bit, but I'll pass off the mic for now. Thank you.
Okay, very good. Thanks, Marshall. Okay, so we're on. Do what? Okay, Don, are you ready?
Yeah, okay. Just go and share screen.
Yeah, go for it.
All right. And share. You guys see it?
Yeah, we see it.
Okay. Yes, the same clusters as Mark imaged. This was taken with my nearly 35-year-old Apo refractor, which was close to state of the art at the time. This is 60 3-minute images, 3-minute sub exposures. And the focal length was 640, but this has been cropped by 1.2x approximately. And of course, M53 is the tight cluster up in the left corner, and NGC 5053 is the much fainter. I think it's by at least 2 orders of magnitude fainter in that. And I think the night was reasonably steady. Actually, the stars are okay, and there's no really bright stars in this, so I don't see any slight haloing on some of the brighter stars, which is an issue with my older refractor. Even though it was about the state of the art, it wasn't perfect. Well, it doesn't compare to today's scopes, but it does pretty well, and this shows it does. It's pretty sharp.
Okay, Don. One thing you told us what kind of scope it is. I mean, what's the name of it? The brand?
It's a Vernon scope. Now you can find it like an antique. It's a early Roland Christian cemented triplet with mag fluor blue, like a blue mag fluorite coating on the 2 surfaces. And these cemented lenses get a little tricky at when they get up to about 5 inches, they can crack, but certainly not an issue with my scope, which is a 3.7 inch, which is 94 millimeters, at f/6.8, that puts it at exactly 640 millimeters. It's kind of a cut down refractor in the tube. It's a unitron tube, and it has a longer focal draw tube, and it has a unitron focuser on it, which is, you know, really not meant for astrophotography. So I had to do a number of things to get this thing. I had to blacken the inside the actual focuser tube. I had to measure and pull the draw tube out a certain distance so there's no internal reflection, and then take it from there. And it actually does a pretty good job in that. I have another image that I can show later or whenever. Was taken on July 11th, and that night was actually very good. I don't know if any of the other guys were out on that night, but I was up at the gun club in Creedmoor, and I'd say was pushing 4.5 Bortle, and the guiding was actually very good. Some of the best guiding that I've seen in that, but yeah, so.
Yeah, everybody's commenting here. Everybody in person were talking that that was a good night. I guess for North Carolina in general.
Yeah, for summer. Yeah, it's yeah, kind of unusual. Yeah, and that, and yep.
Okay. And you said this is the only image you have to share. Is that it?
I have another one.
Is it a globular?
No, it's not. So
Okay.
that's fine.
All right.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll put off on that.
Yep. Okay.
Right now.
Yep. Okay. And what? Stop share.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay. AV, was there anybody else that needed to show any globular work? No globular? Okay. Well, we'll put Don back on the spot then. All right, Don. Share your screen and show us what you have that now that we're done with looking at the imaging target challenge for globular clusters. Show us that image you were just talking about, the non-globular image.
Okay. Let's see. Let me see. I'm gonna have to go. I bet you this is the same damn thing I had last time. Oh man. Let's see. If Biles. Oh, yeah. I'm kind of like learning on the fly. Never mind. This is not going to work. Oh. Let's see. Hold on 1 second. I apologize.
Okay. Well, Don, we'll just go ahead and go to some of the other people, and once you get yourself situated, we'll come back to you. How about that?
Sounds good.
All right. Very good. Okay. I guess AV will go to whatever's on the post images. Post meeting images. There we go. Okay, let's see. Who do we got on the list here? Jason Young.
Okay, so we're back to M3 here, and due to how bad the seeing was, I wanted to make sure that I actually had captured M3. So what I did is I looked up Hubble Space Telescope images, and there was a wide field photograph that from the wide field instrument on Hubble, and so I just oriented this in the same orientation, same exact size, and I was like, okay, I have the right image. So that's kind of where this image came from. We can move on to the next. All right, so July 11th, up in Greenbrier Valley, West Virginia, Bortle 2-3 skies. I had planned to take pictures of the Milky Way. Yes, I'm still shaking from just how beautiful it was that night. I saw more galaxies in my observing telescope than I've had my whole life in one night while this is clicking away in the background. What we have here is you got Deneb right in the center of the frame, part of Cygnus. And the reason why I chose this field, I wanted to play around with the 50 millimeter prime lens. And actually had to stop it down to f3.2 and basically let it rip for about an hour at 10-second exposures. And then I spent the next 8 hours just trying to pull these details out. Because a lot of the programs I was using didn't know what to deal with, this many stars. So this is actually using deep sky stacker, and I did a manual curve play with this, and I've learned a lot about this region. Didn't know the North America Nebula was there. Also, I'm not sure what the nebula is around Sator up there, but you could see kind of a dark lane go through there, and is absolutely, I'm just really impressed with myself on this, but I had a lot of help from super steady skies. I mean, every star was just a point. Okay. No. So either way, I'm using this. Yep, I'm using this image to relearn astronomy. So hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Do I have another one? Okay, so what I tried to do here is bring out the nebulosity and some of the dark, especially the northern coal sack, just to the, I guess you'd say, the 1 o'clock from Deneb. Just playing around with this is actually in Cyril. I do not remember, it was late night playing around with Cyril, so I have no idea what stretches I did or whatever, but I was super happy with the nebulosity in this one. I wasn't going for the stars like the previous one. So yep, that's it. Yeah.
Okay, thanks, Jason. Who do we got next? Jim Perchicante, always a delight.
All right, so I got sick of the smoke and the clouds, so I went to Hawaii.
Nice.
There was actually, but my timing wasn't good with the eruption. So the first day we were there, we went to go to the eruption, and actually it was like sort of the second day, but the eruption had stopped at 4 p.m. the day before we went, and it was like 9 in the morning. So we just missed seeing the lava flow. But this is the other mountain. So off in the right corner there is part of Mauna Loa, and Mauna Loa, Kilauea is off to the southeast of Mauna Loa. So that's where the eruption's occurring, sort of where the Milky Way tails down to. But I didn't plan this very well. So like I brought all my stuff, like I'll figure it out when I get there. Well, quick little read, and like Mauna Kea is the best place in the entire world to shoot images from. But I took a couple days to figure that out, by which time we were up to almost a first quarter moon. So now the moon's at 23%. And so I got up there, and with the moon up in the sky, you could still see the Milky Way with your naked eye. Just how clear it is. Those are clouds. They're down at the bottom behind the peak. This is at the visitor center, which is at like 9,300 feet. If you got a 4-wheel drive vehicle, you can drive all the way up to the summit, which is closer to 14,000 feet. But absolutely fantastic place to see the sky. Had I planned it better, I would have walked out into that peak. It looks really close. It's actually a bit of a hike. But you can walk up there as a path, and it was a great place to watch the sunset from. And for some reason, after the sunset, I hiked back to the car and set up my stuff overlooking a parking lot, which was a terrible location. So I had the moon up in the sky. I had headlights. I guess I thought people eventually would drive away and stop shining their headlights, but that never happened. So fighting all those things, still was able to get a really nice picture of the Milky Way. And if you look over there on the lower right, there's a little asterism. It's kind of a kite shape or a cross shape. And Hawaii is one of the only places you can see the Southern Cross in the US. And it's also interesting to see the core and Rho Ophiuchi up so high in the sky. Very different.
You actually got to look at the.
I didn't know. You got to go up to the summit, and that takes a 4-wheel drive vehicle. My Chevy Blazer was not going to make it.
Oh, wait, you said snow.
Yeah,
Snow up there?
they got snow up there. Yeah, it up at 9,000 feet. It was probably, I don't know, might have been like 35, 40 degrees. It was chilly, and the wind was blowing. But you go up to 13,000 feet, and there's snow up there. Yeah, so this is a Canon 5D full frame with a Tamron 15 to 30. I think I did that, I don't know, somewhere around 19 millimeters, maybe, when I shot this set of photos. But somewhere in the car below is my wife and my son who are patiently waiting for me to stop shooting photos.
They like your pictures.
They're like, doesn't.
Yeah, my mom, not my mom, but my.
What's that? So this one was 40 seconds. So this was 30, 40-second exposures after I tossed out a bunch where there was glare from the headlight. Yeah, you can go up to the, I think you can show the movie next, the time lapse I did of me collecting these. Epilepsy warning on these. Yeah, so I processed this in PixInsight. So I stacked it in PixInsight, and then I used the RC tools, used the exterminator, the star exterminator to separate out the stars and process the stars separately and put it all back together in Photoshop. But frame 9 was the one where there weren't any headlights in it, and I could actually have a foreground. You can go to the, and actually I should point out there's a whole bunch of globulars. And this one too. So there's M53, M9. It's all in there. You just got to look around. Yeah, see, there it is. Can you? I guess M13 is not in there, so we can't look at the galaxy on that one. And so this is just some other images that I think there's one in there, but maybe one of them. part of one. I got part of one. And so these are either 20 or 30-second exposures, 19 of them. That's what I got for this one. Yeah, so I use the SkyGuider Pro for tracking. I'm always kind of like, is it worth it or not? I tried to do like some 15 to 20-second frames without the tracker, and the stars just started to get a little bit too egg-shaped. So I just leave the tracker on and just deal with figuring out how to get the foreground in later. It's nice to see the core not right on the horizon, but actually up in the sky. Yeah, try the video, but epilepsy warning for the video. All the headlights flashing by. Is there another picture? I don't remember taking the picture. I uploaded twice. That's the same one. Yeah. Somewhere there's video. Oh yeah. So this is what it was like actually shooting it with all the headlights.
Did you catch it before your tripod fell over?
Slowly going over it. But it gives you an idea with headlights and the moon.
Yeah.
You really have a seizures if you loop it.
Actually, I like that.
No, we probably should watch this over and over again.
Oh, the dome. That's actually how they test it. All right, who's next?
I can try. I think I pulled it up, Chris, if I can share
Oh,
the screen.
hold on. Okay, hold on.
Sorry, one more in the room, I think, here. So, well, unless somebody chimes in. So I'm pulling up my cheat sheet because I can't remember. This one was kind of interesting. So this doesn't look super remarkable. This is with the 135 millimeter Rokinon Canon T2i, no filter, and looking on Astrobanks, I don't remember the details. Oh, this one wasn't too bad. So this was captured before the skies closed up. So I think through April, I got some data. It's almost a little over 7 hours, because why not? I was going to go longer because, of course, I'm trying to see if there's any dust just for fun. There's not. So, yeah. So a bunch of galaxies peppered throughout here, you know, a little spiral right here. I better be cool to pan around with a telescope and the eyepiece. But I have a C8 now. I haven't used it for anything yet. Yeah. Yeah. I do plan on getting the C8 set up to do some imaging, but so question, M81, M82 in the upper right? No, this is yeah, I don't know what it is. It's definitely not that, because there's definitely dust around bodes and cigar. Yeah, yeah. This guy here. Yeah, okay. Yeah, sorry. Astroband's plate solving is being wonky on me, so I don't know the names of this stuff. The other one is the headphone nebula, and I started working on this in December, and got the last data that I could use in May. Total 20 hours, SHO. Let's see how much for hydrogen alpha was almost 3.5 hours, oxygen 3 hours, and sulfur 2 was 13.5 hours. I think that was basically because I got all the hydrogen alpha I wanted and the moon was up, and I prefer not to do O3 when the moon's up. But yeah, that's that.
Is that with the C8?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, this is the 6-inch Newtonian with the monochrome ASI 2600. Cropped.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Nice, very nice.
So Naveen, let me get over here so that I'm not gonna blow everybody away with feedback. Someone that pretty much everybody in the room wasn't around when we were just setting up. He was showing his it was some sort of Abel object over. No, you don't need to show it. I mean, but yeah, it was Abel object. It's that really nice spherical planetary nebula back in Hercules. But basically, what I'm getting at is I asked him how he took that image because it's like mostly blue, and which pretty much when you're doing a narrowband imaging, blue is almost always if you're doing an SHO palette, blue is a sign for oxygen. And so that's a really popular target just because of how round it is, the one that that you don't see right now. But okay, well, fine, Naveen, don't listen to me. Okay, so anyway, but yeah, you obviously you look at that, and I can't remember. Did you actually check to see if there was any hydrogen in this thing, or?
No, just O3.
Okay, so just
stars and then O3 for the planetary.
okay, so just narrowband for the planetary and RGB rest. Okay, yeah. I don't know. This is something that I've noticed with planetaries. Ring nebula is sort of an exception, I guess, because there's probably an equal amount of hydrogen alpha in that. But you'll notice that a lot of the planetary nebulas that you go to image, they have they're very rich in O3 in the middle. This one is really exemplifies that just by not having any hydrogen. It's just all oxygen. So Yeah. And as I mean, if my science is correct, I believe that's what's going to happen to our sun. It just basically dissolves and just gets bigger and bigger until it dissolves. So, but anyway, yeah, yeah. Go back to the other one. Yeah. The other one. Yeah. Thank you. And so, and yeah, so I mean, based on that whole discussion there, would you say that your oxygen channel was probably the brightest out of the three?
I know. It, I don't remember it being super bright. It was bright enough at the 3 hours, but hydrogen alpha, if I remember correctly, was really bright on this one as well. Sulfur was kind of meh.
Kind of MEH. Okay, very good. Okay. All right. But you're basically saying that hydrogen alpha, as far as like when it was popping up on your screen as you're using Nina, was more obvious than oxygen.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, very good. Okay, I guess that's it for you, Devane. You're done. And so, okay, is there anybody else that was on there before we get to Don? No? Okay, Don, let's see if you can get it to work.
Yeah, all right, we'll find out. Right.
Okay, Marshall has two more after Don. Okay.
All right, I get a, this will stop other screen sharing. Do you want to continue? I guess, yes, right? That's what's popping up. Man, I don't know what the heck I'm gonna. Well, nope, forget it. Sorry.
Okay. Marshall, are you ready?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. All right. Show us what you got.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
So
we can
as you
see
can
it.
see,
So
this
this is
is
the one you just
literally a
got done
serial window.
processing.
Yeah. So this is N13 again, 81 hour or 8 hours, sorry. A little bit less noise, so that was pretty cool. A little bit better color too. So this is just a quick rough draft. Just wanted to share that real quick. So yeah, this is just like I said, basically a little bit of the first data set as well, plus other data sets. I don't think I captured anything on June or July 12th. Is that the date that everyone was referring to earlier? I can't remember. But
July 11th.
yeah. The other one. I'm pull it up on my screen here in the photo viewer.
Oh,
This
that's
is
pretty.
the Eastern Veil Nebula. This was, I think, 4 3-minute subs. So it was a super tight window. You zoom in, you can see there's plenty of noise in the background there. So the signal to noise ratio not particularly great, but I took this one from the beach. Same setup as I mentioned previously, the 80 millimeter refractor on the Gem 45. It was, so I took it out and got it set up, and it said it was supposed to be fairly clear, but of course it's the beach. It's probably even more volatile than here. And yeah, we had like all sorts of random passing clouds. So I kind of just looked at some other stuff, and I took whatever data I could get. So I got, like I said, 3-4 minute subs of this. And this is, I mean, honestly, I was pretty well, first of all, I mean, the light pollution is a little better out there. I was taking it from a neighborhood that has a lot of like nearby streetlights or whatever. So that didn't help, but it, like the overall light pollution is still a little better. But yeah, that's what I ended up with. The first time I had ever even seen it. So because you can't really, it's really hard to see, especially in an area with nearby streetlights or whatever. I had my Dob out and I couldn't see it with the eyepiece, but like I said, I captured some data on and put it together into this. Like I said, turned out a lot better than expected, especially like I said for just 12 minutes of integration time, I guess.
Yeah,
So
can't complain about it.
yeah, right. So I'll take it. And like I said, first time I'd ever even like seen this object or whatever, so it was pretty cool to get a chance to work on it. Since I hadn't like, I'd seen it before, but I'd done some, I'd seen it around on pictures on the internet and stuff, but I didn't really know much about it until, I put this image together. And, this is just one fragment basically of a, I guess I guess you can't call it a planetary nebula, but I guess it's kind of like technically what it is.
Yeah, it's called
or
a
remnant.
supernova remnant. And
Right, yeah, supernova remnant. Thank you.
and I want to say this is the west part of it.
This is the east.
Oh, it is the east. Okay, well, I feel
At least I'm
stupid.
pretty sure
Okay.
that's correct. Yeah. Someone might be able to correct me on that probably, but I'm pretty sure it's the eastern one. But yeah. So this is the other one that I got. There's other things that are a work in progress that I'm working on as well, but still need more integration time. But if the next meeting is until October, then that gives us plenty of time. All right.
Yeah.
I think that's good for me. I'll stop sharing.
Okay, so Mark, I was told that you have some pictures to share.
Yeah, they're out there.
Okay. Let's see. Hold on. Sorry. Oh, it's a comet picture. Why am I not surprised? No, it's really pretty. So
Yeah. This was on that great night that you guys are all referring to, July 11th. And so I decided that there was a new comet in the sky and I was going to try for it. So this is the same equipment that I was talking about before, the 4-inch refractor and the GEM 45 mount and my ASI 294 camera. This is only 15 minutes of exposure time. And I just aligned on the stars for this just to make everything easy. And anyway, this guy is at the time, this has been about 10 days now, it was just above Polaris. So it was circumpolar up all night. And, with the camera, it was, pretty easy to find and pretty bright. At the time, about 9th magnitude.
was guiding kind of tricky being that close to the celestial pole?
I didn't have the ASI Air didn't have any trouble with it. I made the mistake of trying to calibrate, on the stars in that area. So it took a little while, but it tracked it pretty well.
Yeah, very good.
And there's one more.
Another comet?
No.
No. Okay.
So this is M24, at least the central part of M24. So with my telescope and my camera, I can't get the whole thing, but for a Messier object, this thing is really big. But the little cluster in the middle is NGC 6603, a nice little open cluster. But the thing that, kind of drew me to this area is the dark nebulae, up sort of across the top part of the frame. And so this is 35 minutes of exposure time, 35 1-minute exposures just above my southern horizon in between the trees. So I was, very lucky to get this at all.
Yeah, it looks really nice. Now all you need to do is, I guess, 100 pane mosaic, and you'll get the whole core then.
It's big, but it's not that big.
Mm. Yeah, we got a question. What's your focal length here?
500 millimeters.
500 millimeters. So that's your Genesis. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, very good. Hold on 1 second. Okay. All right. Well, we're done for here. Is there anybody else? Okay. Well, I just saw Dave Filipowski's comment. It looks really good too, Mark. So, but it's on his phone. So,
Oh, yeah, he's probably got his own on his phone by now.
All right. Yeah, I was just told Mark Tandy has some images.
Hey, yes, I do have one, the one you're highlighted there. Yep.
Oh, very nice.
Thanks. This is a mosaic. It's my first mosaic. Got it from, I live in North Raleigh. And it's a it's just two panels. And the left-hand side, this really spans Cepheus. The left-hand side, you can kind of make out the dark shark nebula, kind of near where the pointer is right now. Let's see, or mine. Yeah. And then the right side, elephant trunk. The Iris Nebula is near the top on the left-hand side. There's a lot of goodies in there. There's so much in that area of the sky in Cepheus. But yeah, it's my first attempt at a mosaic, and I used Photoshop to do that. There's a pretty easy function in Photoshop. It's called Photo Merge. And I used a Rokinon 135 millimeter lens at stop down to f2.8 for both panels. And the total exposure, well, I guess each one was roughly 3 hours. Also taken on that great night of the 11th and 12th.
Very nice.
Hold on
Thank
one
you.
second.
What, did you use any filters?
Yes, sorry. I did use astronomic UV IR block luminance filter.
Okay, very good. Yeah, that's pretty impressive right there.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a good night, and those lenses really let in the light. They work really well.
So I take it you're going to add on to this.
I would like to, if we could just get some clear nights in here.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
more July 11th, I guess.
Definitely.
So, I'm wondering what that nebulosity is at the lower right.
Yeah,
Very.
I'm not sure what that is.
Yeah.
It could be some kind of artifact. I need to go back and check.
Yeah, because magenta in that is strong compared to all the other nebulae in there.
Yeah. Take a look at that.
Okay, was that it, or did you have something else?
That's it.
Okay, very good. All right. So I guess everybody's done here, and that'll pretty much conclude this meeting. So yeah, so next meeting we don't have a topic for, but as I said earlier on when we got done with all of our globular images there, yes, let's just start brainstorming of what we want to do for the October imaging target challenge, and just make sure that whatever we decide on, it's going to be in the it's going to be fairly accessible from now until October. So as far as in the night sky. But anyway, I don't know. Does anybody have here anything to add here in person? No? Okay. Okay. Well, I guess that'll do it for us. And for those here who are here in person, we plan on going to Sammy's, not too far away from here, off of Avon Ferry. And so, other than that, I guess we'll call it a night, and we'll see you next month, August. So, thank you.